Viewers, we're just 4 days away from the first phase of elections, and the Prime Minister's interview has set the tongues wagging in political circles once again. From Ram Mandir to Sanatan slander to their mission 400 Par, the Prime Minister spoke on various issues that have dominated political discourse in the weeks leading up to elections. Over the course of this show, we will put our focus on specific issues that the Prime Minister discussed and whether the opposition, and more importantly, the public, is convinced. While the opposition has tried to corner the centre on electoral bonds, Prime Minister took the issue head-on. He says it is all thanks to the electoral bond scheme that they had devised that today everyone is aware of which firm donated to which political party. A true definition of transparency. He also says that only about 37% of the donations that were given to the 16 companies out of 3,000 that were being investigated came to the BJP. The remaining 63% went to the rivals.
इलेक्टोरल बॉन्ड न होते तो किस व्यवस्था में ताकत है वो ढूंढ के निकालते कि पैसा कहां से आया और कहां गया। ये तो इलेक्टोरल बॉन्ड की सक्सेस स्टोरी है कि इलेक्टोरल बॉन्ड थे तो आपको ट्रेल मिल रहा है मनी का कि किस कंपनी ने दिया, कैसे दिया, कहां दिया। कुल देश में 3,000 कंपनियों ने इलेक्टोरल बॉन्ड दिए हैं। उसमें 3,000 में 26 कंपनियां ऐसी हैं जिन पर कार्रवाई हुई है। ये कहते हैं ना ईडी वीडी टिकना फला, 3,000 डोनर है उसमें सिर्फ 26, और उनमें से 16 कंपनियां ऐसी थी छापा जब लगा उस समय बॉन्ड खरीदा। कोई जोड़ सकता है इसको। अगर बॉन्ड खरीदा, लोग ये जोड़ रहे हैं, उसकी विशेषता ये है कि ये जो 16 कंपनियों ने बॉन्ड खरीदा उसमें से 37 पैसा अमाउंट बीजेपी को डोनेशन में मिली। 63% बीजेपी के विरोधी पार्टियों को मिली।
But is opposition convinced? It doesn't seem so. Moments into the interview, Congress MP Rahul Gandhi, during his campaign in Wayanad, said the Prime Minister's interview is out of desperation after being caught red-handed in the poll bond scheme. Others in opposition say that it was the Supreme Court that brought about transparency in electoral bonds and that the Prime Minister can't claim credit.
अगर आप नाम और तारीख को देखोगे तो आपको पता लगेगा कि जब उन लोगों ने इलेक्टोरल बॉन्ड दिया है उसी के एकदम बाद उनको या तो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट मिला है या फिर जो सीबीआई का उन पर इंक्वायरी हो रही थी वो हटाई गई है। तो ये प्रधानमंत्री पकड़े गए हैं, इसीलिए ये एएनआई को इंटरव्यू दे रहे हैं।
गलती से भी सच नहीं बोलते हमारे प्रधानमंत्री। क्या हकीकत है, सच्चाई क्या है? सच्चाई ये है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट अगर हस्तक्षेप नहीं करती, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने नहीं आदेश दिया होता कि ये इलेक्टोरल बॉन्ड गैर कानूनी है, गैर संवैधानिक है, किसी को पता ही नहीं चलता किसने पैसा दिया, किसको गया है। ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट की बदौलत हुआ है, ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट की वजह से हुआ है। और प्रधानमंत्री ने आखिरी वक्त तक स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया को कहा ये जानकारी मत दो। वो 30 जनवरी तक उन्होंने टाइम मांगा, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा नहीं, ये हमें मंजूर नहीं है, आपको फौरन देना होगा। और इसी के वजह से ये पूरी जानकारी निकली है।
पहले इन्होंने कहा कि उस पर कोई नंबरिंग नहीं है, नंबरिंग भी निकल आई, और वो नंबरिंग की जानकारी सिर्फ और सिर्फ रूलिंग पार्टी को रहेगी। ये क्या ट्रांसपेरेंसी है? सबसे बड़ी आपत्ति ही हमारी इलेक्टोरल बॉन्ड्स को लेकर यह थी कि इसमें पारदर्शिता नहीं है। देयर इज नो ट्रांसपेरेंसी इन इलेक्टोरल बॉन्ड्स. It only suits and benefits the ruling party.
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
All right, we'll be discussing other aspects of the Prime Minister's interview as well, but the first issue that we're discussing is this, the poll bond controversy. R.P. Singh of the BJP is joining us, national spokesperson. Also with us on this is Tushar Gupta, political analyst. With us is Tehseen Punawala, political analyst. Also joining us is Salem Dharanidharan. He's a spokesperson of the DMK. Professor Manojit Mandal is also a political analyst. He leans towards the TMC. And Prof. Mohammad Tariq Khan is the national spokesperson of Samajwadi Party. Let me start with you first and foremost, Salem Dharanidharan. The point being made by the Prime Minister is that the electoral bonds are a success story. After all, because there is a money trail, we are able to see who contributed to whom. Does he have a point there?
Yeah, I think the Prime Minister, even by mistake, does not speak the truth. The first time I'm appalled by the Prime Minister even an interview comes and lies saying that only BJP receives only 37% of the poll fund, electoral bond funding. In fact, they receive about 60%. I'll make it very, very clear. In no legitimate democracy, right, that you have such a system like electoral bonds where no one apart from the ruling party will know who's donating how much to whom. And when electoral bonds were announced, two major changes were done by the BJP government, which is detrimental for the democracy. One, companies can donate as much as they want to. Earlier, they can only donate 10% of their profit. This is a very valid point. You have to very important point. And second and foremost is that any donation more than 20,000 rupees before electoral bonds were announced should be disclosed to the public. Here, no amount should be disclosed to the public. But BJP through SPA can know which corporate is donating to which political party.
Okay.
Selective transparency, this is what even the Supreme Court has told. The Supreme Court told BJP that selective transparency cannot be allowed. And again, there is clear quid pro quo. Whenever there has been an ED raid, BJP has received funding from that company. The bridge in Bihar that collapsed had apparently donated to the
RP
BJP,
Singh.
which is why they were given a
RP Singh,
contract.
okay, you made about 3-4 points. Let RP Singh respond to you on that. You made a couple of points there. RP Singh, 2-3 important points. He says that the Supreme Court is the one that has brought in transparency, not the government scheme. There is selective transparency earlier, as the allegation coming in from the DMK, which the Congress has also said, that only the government would know through the SBI as to who has donated how much to whom, and not the opposition political parties. And also this figure of 37% is being disputed. He's saying that figure of 37% is wrong. It's actually above 63%. Your response?
Well, yes, it's 63% for all opposition put together. He's right. 37% came to BJP, 63% went to the opposition. We are admitting that, and Prime Minister has said that on record. Did I interpret, sir? Please have some.
Yeah, let him make his point. Let him make his point. You've asked a couple of
Prime
questions.
Let's
get a response. Yeah.
So, 6 companies bought electoral bonds after the raid, and then out of that 6 companies, 37% came to BJP, 63% went to the opposition. But had this not been electoral bond, who would know which money has gone where? And at least if money is happening, or money is being transferred through the banking system. Earlier, no one knew where the money is coming from. I mean, when it was 20,000 rupees, even then, remember how did Mayawati ji did that? And whole of the money was showed that as if cash has come to the party workers. And when they turned to 2,000 rupees also, even then there could have been a problem. So at least if there's a clarity and there's a transparency, we know the money, the bonds have been purchased through the banking system, through check system, not through paying cash. And even this election, till now, I was going through the figure, almost 4,000 rupees cash has been caught by the Election Commission. So that has to be taken care.
Okay.
Now, you can question a system whether it's 100% foolproof or not. But you have to, give me a second, you need to come out with the alternative system also. Are there any of them suggesting some alternative system? They are very happy. There's something like EVM versus ballot paper. There's something like cash versus electoral bond.
Okay, Selim, there are no concrete suggestions coming your way, but the question, let me just clarify, and I'm just being clarified this point by my team, is that the Prime Minister during the course of the interview said that out of about 3,000 donor companies, 16 companies were those which were investigated by the agencies, and of those 16 companies' donations, 37% went to the BJP and 37% to the BJP and 63%, I beg your pardon, to other parties who are opposed to the BJP. It's in that context that this 37-63 figure has been used. Selim Dharnidharan.
Okay, so first and foremost, I'd like to rebut the BJP spokesperson. See, electoral bonds, we know who donated how much to whom only because of a Supreme Court intervention, not because it was designed in that manner. The electoral bonds were designed in a manner to completely make it opaque. And second and foremost point is, if BJP is against corruption, ban corporate donations altogether. They could have done it. If this Prime Minister who says he's against corruption, ban corporate donation. New Zealand has done it. France has done it. Belgium has done it. Even Brazil has done it after Petronas scandal. Why not completely ban? In fact, in France, no one can, no corporate can donate, and donation to political parties are capped at 10% of the per capita GDP. So if India's per capita GDP is about 2 lakhs, then cap it, no one can donate more than 20,000 any political party. Why do you bring in a system where BJP brought in a system where anyone can donate as much as they want to?
Okay.
Why do you bring in such a system? Right? Nowhere, no democracy has such a system.
Okay, quick response. RP Singh, quick response, please, and move on to others. Yes.
Let him also disclose how much future gaming paid to them, and was the majority of the donation not going to the DMK from the future gaming party, future gaming company? So we are for any improvement in the system. I mean, you will appreciate Supreme Court should immediately intervene into this matter and evolve a new system where money can be routed through banks, not through the trunks, not in trunks, as happened in the case of Partha Chaudhary, or happened in case of a person who was caught in Jharkhand, a member of parliament who was caught in Jharkhand with 326 crore rupees of cash money.
Okay. Quick response, since you've taken the name of the DMK, I'm going to allow him. Quick 20-second response, please. Quick response.
Just because there is electoral bond doesn't mean that cash transaction doesn't stop. Right? Recently, BJP's candidate in Tamil Nadu is being investigated because he's been having some cash has been found in railway station, has been linked to him. The BJP candidate. BJP candidates or BJP politicians have been found with money also. This is electoral bond is on top of it, where BJP is trying to tweak the system and undermine the Indian democracy, and that is very worrying.
Okay.
And no one who understands democracy would appreciate such a system. It's legalized form of corruption introduced by the BJP.
Okay, it's a legal form of corruption, Tushar Gupta, introduced by the BJP. And, the point, one second, let me just come in now. The end of the day, the point being made over here is that even though as far the Supreme Court has brushed aside several of the concerns, when these arguments were put forth by the government to defend the policy in the Supreme Court, ultimately the court judged against that. The court did not buy these arguments while hearing this case, and that's why the entire judgment has come about in the first place, because we've heard these arguments before, Tushar, but they were rejected by the court.
Look, if you're talking about the courts, the government has been generous enough not to comment on it, but the general public feels that if there was a legitimate way to donate to the political parties, either the court should have proposed an alternate model before discontinuing it altogether, or the court could have recommended some changes. Now, coming to what the panelists before me was speaking about banning corporate donations altogether to political parties, Madhav, I do not want to get into name calling, but there are parties which own newspapers. There are parties which control news channels in certain states. Will they not reroute that money to their party? There are parties which are invested in FPOs in their respective states in multiple businesses. As a family or members of the party, can this panelist tell me that those parties will ensure that none of those companies donate a single penny to that party? I do not understand what problem people had with the electoral bond. Every single penny was accounted for. Every single penny was being transferred via the white route. Every single penny had a money trail. Now, if your problem is that someone is donating to ABC party, not just the BJP, a non-BJP party as well, it's the money of that company or that individual owning that company, and they should have the right to donate to whoever he wants or she wants.
But that information has to be public, is what Supreme Court has ruled.
Has the DMK not got electoral bonds? Has the Congress not got electoral bonds? Has the TMC not got electoral bonds? The BRS, the BJD, everyone has got electoral bonds. When they were getting money via electoral bonds, they were very quiet about it. They were happily taking it.
Okay, these are double standards, Tehseen. When you were getting money by electoral bonds, opposition political parties were very happy, and now suddenly they're raising questions about the government policy. Tehseen, please respond to this.
So thank you, Madhav. So there are 3 or 4 very valid points that Tushar makes. Really good points. The first point that Tushar makes, and I'll rebut them one by one, is look, all of this money is white money. It's in the bank and it's come through a bank accounting group. Correct, Madhav? Now imagine I'm a corrupt police officer and Tushar decides to bribe me and I decide to get bribed. So Tushar bribes me. I take that money, I somehow convert it, put it in my bank account, and now that money is white and legitimate. So does the corruption stand or does not stand, Madhav? Just because money is white or black, or just I remove money from my bank account and I bribe a police officer, does not make it non-corrupt money. Corruption has nothing to do with bank accounting. It may be in bank accounting. That's point number 1. Now Tushar says it has the money has a trail. Of course it has a trail. So does Bitcoin, so does crypto. But that does not stop terrorism or illegal funding from it. That's the government's argument in Supreme Court on it. So again, a money trail does not make it that it's absolutely legit. The fact of the money trail is that this money trail, who had the vested interest in hiding it? The SBI and the government of India. Even right now, as of today, the SBI is hiding how much they paid the lawyer for appearing in this case. Why should they hide it? Who's SBI? Is the government the owner of SBI? Or Tushar, you and I are the owners of SBI? Who's SBI? Should the SBI chairman not have resigned by what he's doing? Why should he hide public information? They have a vested interest in doing it. Third, who was the only political party that had the access to this information? Why SBI? The government of India. Therefore, they had a vested interest in hiding it. And an vested interest in hiding it is what makes the whole thing fishy. Now, Tushar's last point. What about opposition parties getting money via electoral bonds? Of course, opposition parties got money, but the same opposition parties did not have information who was giving it to them. It is the government had information. Therefore, a person who was an extortionist as per the government of India and was involved in money laundering, gave money to the BJP, and next day his statement was changed and he became the accuser in Arvind Kejriwal's case. The opposition didn't have that information. The government had it.
Tushar.
Therefore, this makes it a skewed.
Okay, Tushar, I want Tushar to respond to that.
Tehseen says the opposition did not have the information on who donated to the BJP and was a fugitive in the excise policy scam. But Tehseen would remember that it was the Congress that had all the information on the excise policy scam. It was the Congress that registered the first complaint against Arvind Kejriwal. Yes. And today the Congress, the hypocrite party, carries out a march for Arvind Kejriwal in Ram Leela Maidan, and when they get there, they put down the posters of Arvind Kejriwal saying this is not a march for one person. Tehseen, at least be honest. You wanted to cash in on Arvind Kejriwal's arrest to get your vote share back in Delhi. Let's not try to be very holier than thou here and pretend that the Congress wasn't the one who got Arvind Kejriwal in trouble first in the excise policy scam, and today they are pretending that democracy is in danger because the investigating agencies are doing their work against that very complaint that the Congress.
So I have no problems.
Tehseen.
I have no problems with this argument Tushar made. He's made a brilliant argument. I have no problems with this. And this is a political argument. I can argue that on another show. That's not what we're discussing. What we are discussing is the government knowing who was the donors. Congress did not know P. Sagar Chandra Reddy had donated. The government of India knew. ED had made him an extortionist and a Hawala dealer, and he then donated to the BJP and from an accused became an approver. That is precisely the point, and Tushar accepting that. What the Congress did is hypocritical, was another debate, and that, Madhav, you called Tushar and me, he's made a very valid point. That I concede to. But this is the point we're discussing, and that's where Tushar is stuck, you see?
Okay. One second. Let me just come in now. I want to bring in Professor Monojit Mandal into this debate as well. Professor Monojit Mandal, in context of this whitewash charge that's often made, by opposition parties, one of the points that the Prime Minister has interestingly made, apart from, of course, just taking off from this argument on poll bonds and those companies which are being investigated, incidentally, the Prime Minister also says that of the total cases that the ED has probed, only 3% are on politicians. The rest are on companies, corporates, officers, etc., who may have this kind of money laundering offences that may have been committed by them. How do you respond to this point being made by the Prime Minister?
In neither of the cases, Madhav, if you look at the record of the ED, the conviction, I think, rate is abysmal. I can't even, say that it's, 0.5% now. I think we are missing a very interesting point, and that's the larger point about some states, some political parties getting the fund from the same companies which are being raided. The issue is that are these political parties controlling ED, CBI income tax, or BJP-led central government controlling ED, CBI or income tax? That is the moot point. Political donation from corporate sector, I think, is nothing new in this country. There can be legitimate way of donating money. There can be illegitimate way of donating money. There can be spontaneous donation. There can be coercion. What is the moot point is that in case of BJP getting money, it is apparently and very, collaboratively, it becomes a kind of coercion. Today there is a raid, day after tomorrow, today there is a raid, day after tomorrow you are getting the money and the raid stop. Who controls these raid agencies? Who controls this income tax, ED, CBI? It is the central government. Mr. Modi, first of all, I congratulate the interviewer. At least after a long period of time, he is speaking to one particular interviewee, maybe of a different kind, He is not facing any interview in this country in the last 10 years. Can you remember, Madhav, you have got any chance
No,
to
sir, that's not correct. He has
interview
given
the
many
Prime
interviews.
Minister in a press conference?
No. Maybe your press conference charge is true, but he has given many interviews, sir. Let's not be factually incorrect here, please.
Yeah.
Let's not make factually incorrect statements.
I am talking about press conference charge. Did the Prime Minister, unlike... No. He did not make any press conference, Madhav.
You said the Prime Minister has not given any interview for 10 years. I'm merely correcting you on that point.
Mr. Manmohan Singh used to do. Yes. No. I'm saying press conference. I did not say interview. I said, did you get in the press conference? Did you get any chance to ask any questions which we used to get during the time of the tenure of Mr. Manmohan Singh?
RP Singh.
At least once, twice a year, you had a press conference. I remember that 2G Ghotala, where entire press was called in by the Prime Minister.
Okay.
And the big anchors of today, they were interviewing the Prime Minister. They were grilling the Prime Minister at that point of time. Do you see that kind of interview today by this Prime Minister who is so popular, so powerful? What is the fear in Mr. Modi?
Okay.
We want to understand.
Okay. RP Singh. Please respond to Professor Mandal.
Well, in spite of in spite of Mr. Mandal drum beating, whatever you want to say, people still vote for him. I mean, whether he gives interview, whether he doesn't give interview, whether he goes for a press conference or doesn't go for a press conference, still people vote for him because people see that he is the one leader who is honest, clean, corruption-free, and also leading the country in the right direction. One. Secondly, Taseen, can I get Mr. Mandal, hold on. Mr. Mandal, you got 1,700 crore rupees on the account of electoral bond, and if I start giving you detail how much leverage has been given to each corporate, you will be in trouble. I don't want to get into that path. But as far Mr. Taseen Poonawalla saying that someone was turned into approval because of the he paid money. I mean, why shall someone pay money to turn approval? It should be rather the government or the party interested should be paying to that person to if someone has to return approval. So, fact is that this has been one of the good methodology of raising election money.
Okay.
If you have good options, better options, please, we'll appreciate. And
we want to quickly take this across to another
with some better options.
Okay. Let's move across to the second aspect that we are debating on the Prime Minister's interview. The other big attack by the Prime Minister actually came in just days before the first phase of polling and before the first Ram Navami to be celebrated after the Ram Mandir Pran Pratishtha. In fact, the Prime Minister threw a Mandir challenge at the India Alliance. He's called out Congress for using Ram Mandir as a political tool for decades only so that minorities can be kept in a state of fear. And finally, he also said that those who boycotted the Pran Pratishtha event had put their appeasement concerns above the mandir. Listen in.
जब ये अदालत के अंदर मामला चल रहा था, अदालत में अभी जजमेंट ना आए वहां तक कोशिश की गई। न्यायिक प्रक्रिया से होना चाहिए तो हमारा संविधान हमें कहता है और सरकार की तो जिम्मेवारी है, लेकिन उसमें भी अड़ंगे डालना ये क्यों? क्योंकि उनके लिए ये राजनीतिक हथियार था ऐसे लोगों के लिए। सचमुच में तो आपको गर्व होना चाहिए कि ये राम मंदिर निर्माण करने वाले जो भी लोग हैं जिन्होंने संघर्ष भी किया है, वे आपके सारे पाप भूल करके, सारे आपके गुनाह भूल करके घर में आकर के आपको इनवाइट कर रहे हैं और नए से व्यवहार शुरू करना चाहते हैं। आप उसको भी उस पुराने मिजाज से ठुकरा दे, तब लगता है कि आपके लिए वोट बैंक एक बहुत बड़ी आपकी मजबूरी है और उस वोट बैंक के चलते इस प्रकार की चीजें होती रहती। देखिए, हमारे लिए मैं मानता हूं ये न राजनीति का विषय हम लोगों के लिए है, न होना चाहिए और न कभी होगा। हमारे लिए एक जबरदस्त आस्था का विषय है जी, और ये कोई प्रभु राम का संबंध कोई मेरे कारखाने में नहीं आया जी, हजारों साल से और दुनिया के अनेक देशों में है।
Opposition sit back at this comment as well, saying that they are real disciples of Lord Ram, while it's BJP that uses Lord Ram for politics.
हम राम व्यापारी नहीं हैं, हम राम पुजारी हैं। 22 जनवरी का समारोह जो था वो एक राजनीतिक समारोह था और एक व्यक्ति पर केंद्रित था, भगवान राम पर केंद्रित नहीं था, वो नरेंद्र मोदी पर केंद्रित था। धर्म के राजनीतिकरण के हम खिलाफ हैं।
All right, Mohammad Tariq Khan, national spokesperson of SP, is also with us on the broadcast. Mohammad Tariq Khan, your response to this open dare of the Prime Minister. He says that parties which didn't attend the Pran Pratishtha are the ones who are actually politicizing that event and the Ram Temple. Your response to what the Prime Minister said.
Now, when Prime Minister says that somebody else is politicizing Ram Mandir issue, it's another series of lying Prime Minister. And who politicized Ram Mandir is well known to the world, to India, and everybody knows that who include in their manifesto Ram Mandir. BJP included Ram Mandir issue in their manifesto. They have reached from 2 seats to 300 seats on the basis of Ram Mandir. They have made us, if they have made a single run on the field of this politics, it's on the basis of Ram Mandir. So, who from the very beginning, from the very scratch, politicized the issue that is of Lord Ram is BJP. You have been criticized by the world, by the parties, by the political leaders, by the politicians, that from the beginning you have made this issue a political issue. You have reached to this level by using this issue. So how you are saying, now you are saying that opposition or Congress has used this issue to politicize something or like that. So this is something to laugh about, that what PM has said. I have nothing else to say. That everything you have achieved in politics, from Lal Krishna Advani to 303,
Tushar,
to 303.
Tushar, please respond to what Mohammad Tariq Khan is saying. That it's BJP's identity that's built on the Ram Mandir. It's been a key manifesto promise for decades as far as BJP is concerned. It's wrong to accuse opposition of politicizing it when it's BJP that's done it in the first place is their charge. Please respond.
Of course, Madhav, the opposition did not politicize the issue of Ayodhya. They just dismissed it, they ignored it, they demeaned it. They saw it with disdain. Was it the BJP that went to the Supreme Court asking for evidence of Lord Ram and Ram Setu? Was it the BJP which said, oh, why do you need to build a temple, build schools, hospitals and other institutions? Was it the BJP that said that the temple never existed there? Was it the BJP that said that the 500 years worth of sacrifices and struggles means absolutely nothing? Was it the BJP that stood before the Supreme Court months before the elections of Lok Sabha of 2019 and said, my lords, do not give your verdict now because that will have a direct impact on the Lok Sabha elections of 2019? I want to ask and I want to remind the viewers of Times Now that it was a leader of the Congress. It was a lawyer who was also part of the Congress and today is a Rajya Sabha member from the Samajwadi Party. And all these parties today accuse the BJP of politicizing the issue. Madhav, in this country, if there is one party that has stood for 30 years with the people who were invested in this cause, it is the BJP. If it's one party in this country that recognized the sacrifices and struggles that were made in the last 500 years, it is the BJP. And today, the people of India, everyone who's got Akshat in their homes, irrespective of the party they vote for, they're celebrating that moment. I'm again saying, Madhav, everyone who's celebrating the Ram Mandir is not necessarily a BJP voter. They might be voting DMK in the south. They might be voting TMC. They might be even voting
Tehseen, I want you to come in on this because, you know, one of the attacks that the Prime Minister has made today is where he said where Indira Gandhi would proudly wear a Rudraksh and walk around. What has happened to the Congress party today? Why are they tolerating those? What is their compulsion? Kya majburi hai that they are still with those who insult the Sanatan Dharma? That's the question the Prime Minister is asking.
But what the Honorable Prime Minister does not tell the viewers of Times Now and via ANI to the rest of the country is the people, the political party that fools all of Indians, particularly our Hindu fellow citizens, is the BJP. Now, Tushar made 3 points. I'll just answer to 3 points on the Ram Setu. As of now, the BJP the government refuses to give an affidavit in Justice Chandrachud's court on the Ram Setu. In fact, Jitendra Singh ji has got up in parliament and said the Ram Setu cannot be seen from the satellite. We have no idea about the Ram Setu. Exactly what the Congress said. Come to point number 2. Why was Amit Shah ji or the Honorable President of India why did they not go to the Ram Mandir when they got an invitation? Are they also anti-Hindu? Were they prevented from going? Is the Home Minister anti-Hindu that he didn't go? But the most pertinent point, the BJP claims itself standing up for Hindus' rights. Why did the BJP take 250 crores in electoral bonds from beef companies that slaughter beef. The BJP took money from beef companies, 250 crores via electoral bonds. These people, the BJP is pro-Hindu. They took beef money. 250 crore rupees from beef companies, from those who slaughter beef.
What is the name of the company?
So many companies, all them electoral bonds. Take the names.
Take the names. I'm asking you to take the names. Support what your argument is.
250 crores. 250 crores from beef companies has gone to BJP.
Okay, RPC, but you're not being able to prove which company they are. I'm asking you a pointed question on the name. I've asked you to name them. I'm not asking you for any rocket science details. You're naming the amount.
BJP say they didn't take it. And Times Nonsense and beef companies have paid this money to him.
No, but name the company, sir, because these allegations are being made on social media. When we looked at some of those companies, it is not beef, but buffalo meat that I believe has been part of their business. But nevertheless, since you asked a question of the BJP, RP Singh, 1 second, RP Singh.
So, Madhav, the scene won't be able to answer which company is a company which has united to BJP, is a company which slaughters cow. But fact is, yes, beef. Can I didn't interpret you, Mr. Taseen Poonawala.
Sorry.
But yes, there are companies which export buffalo meat. There are companies. But let's talk about other issue, Madhav. Why are they not hosting the? Why not they showing their tricolor flag in Wayanad? Their party president has said in Kerala that we will not use our flag because it has a tricolor, and Muslim League has said don't use this flag. You should not use this flag if you want to contest election here, and they have accepted the condition of the Muslim Leagues. Oh, this is what the background they come from, and they are talking about beef.
Okay. All right. Let me quickly go across to the last aspect that we're discussing on the show today. The last point the Prime Minister has made is that about the state that the Prime Minister has been most focused on in terms of his attention since the beginning of the year. Since January, the Prime Minister has made 8 trips to Tamil Nadu, intent on giving his party a historic performance in the state. And in his crosshairs today also was the ruling party, the DMK. While speaking of the ruling party, he said that people of Tamil Nadu are now upset with Dravidian parties, and that translates into a positive sentiment for the BJP. Listen in.
अब जैसे मैंने तमिल काशी संगम किया तो तमिलनाडु में डीएमके पार्टी वाले लोग ये तो पानीपुरी वाले करके मजाक उड़ाते थे, लेकिन जब तमिलनाडु के लोग काशी संगम कार्यक्रम में आए और काशी का रूप रंग देखा, उन्होंने कहा ये हमने तो जो सुना था ऐसा नहीं है, ये तो बहुत डेवलप दिखता है, बड़ी प्रगति हो रही है, आईटी का नेटवर्क दिखता है। तो सोचने का तरीका बदलने लगा और उसके कारण डीएमके के प्रति जबरदस्त गुस्सा पैदा हुआ है। मैं कल्पना नहीं करता हूं इतना बड़ा गुस्सा पैदा हुआ है। वो गुस्सा पैदा डाइवर्ट हो रहा है बीजेपी की तरफ पॉजिटिव वे में। जो कांग्रेस जिसके साथ किसी जमाने में महात्मा गांधी का नाम जुड़ा हुआ था, जो कांग्रेस जहां इंदिरा गांधी जी गले में माला खुलेआम पहन करके घूमती थी,
रुद्राक्ष माला जो, हाँ, रुद्राक्ष
माला पहन करके घूमती थी इंदिरा जी। सवाल कांग्रेस को पूछना चाहिए कि तुम्हारी क्या मजबूरी है कि सनातन के खिलाफ इतना जहर उगलने वाले लोगों के साथ तुम क्यों बैठे हो भाई? क्या तुम्हारी राजनीति अधूरी रह जाएगी क्या?
All right, let's take this across to Selam Dharnidharan. Selam Dharnidharan, there is anger against the DMK for the kind of statements that have been made, especially the Sanatan comments. And of course, it's also costing our alliance partner, the Congress party, particularly in northern India, in the recent assembly polls. That's what's being reflected in what the Prime Minister is saying. Your response to that?
The beef exporting company, the world's largest beef exporting company from which BJP received electoral bonds, is called Alana Group. It's out there in the open. So I will now answer your question. First of all, if people want to live in delusion, they can live in delusion. There is no hatred against the DMK government whatsoever in Tamil Nadu. I will ask the Prime Minister one question, if someone can watch it and take it to him. BJP has been ruling Gujarat for the last 25 years. One metric, one socio-economic metric in which the BJP ruled Gujarat does better than the Dravidian model Tamil Nadu. One metric, any metric, there are hundreds of metrics. There's infant mortality rate, there's poverty rate, there's graduate enrollment ratio, whatever. There's only one metric he can come and say that Tamil Nadu is doing, Gujarat is doing better than Tamil Nadu. He can't find. our leader has promised nearly all the poll promises, and he also done things that's not been told. Right? When we came to power, Tamil Nadu's finances were in doldrums. And we came to power, there was severe COVID, corona. But in spite of that, we were the only state in India to reduce the revenue deficit and then to implement our poll promises one after the other.
Okay.
No other state has been able to.
Tushar, quick response. Pointed question being asked comparing Gujarat and Tamil Nadu. Would like to take that question. Tushar.
I would like to ask this DMK spokesperson or representing the DMK, what is the quantum of freebies that is given in Tamil Nadu? What is the debt of the state of Tamil Nadu? Can you compare it to Gujarat? Can you compare the quantum of freebies to Gujarat? Everyone in this country love to attack the Gujarat model. Gujarat is a manufacturing destination, as is Tamil Nadu. Gujarat also has wealth creators, as does Tamil Nadu have. No difference there. But can you talk about the quantum of freebies? Can you talk about the quantum of debt? Compare Tamil Nadu and Gujarat there. Again, these are two states which will eventually get
okay. Quick response. Selim, quick response.
Be it the BJP or the DMK.
Got your point, Tushar. Got your point.
Can you discuss the quantum of freebies in Tamil Nadu compared to Gujarat?
All right. Development indices versus freebies. That's the argument here. Yeah, but Selim,
I think if people come to speak in debate, they should come to proper data. In 2011, when the DMK demoted office, Tamil Nadu's debt to GDP was 17% lower than that of Gujarat. From 2009 to 11, when DMK was in power earlier, Tamil Nadu was
all right. Unfortunately, there's a network problem over there. A very interesting debate, nevertheless, data upon data that Mr. Dharnidharan was trying to give out to us, but unfortunately, there's a poor connection there at the moment. Nevertheless, I'd like to thank all our panelists for joining us on debate number 1. Tehseen Purawala, Serum Dharnidharan, Professor Monijit Mandal, Mohammad Tariq Khan. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Very interesting debate, certainly. Various aspects of the Prime Minister's speech that are bound to be discussed both in public domain as well as on social media. It will be interesting to see how much of this actually makes a difference as far as the polls are concerned.